I don't want to say someone's weak-minded, but if your only reason to want to be the 4-man is to go against everybody that's 6'6" and 6'7" because they're playing so small and everyone's guards, that is weak.
Yeah. Some weakness there.
What's weak?
You want to play power forward because today's power forward is Thompson, who's a guard. He's a guard. You want to go against all the guards in the post. So if that's the only reason you keep complaining about being a 4-man is because everybody's little and you get the advantage, that says a lot.
But that's
Gil's Arena reacts to AD being out indefinitely. Check out what they had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
AD could miss some extended time with an adductor strain, which is square jargon for a hip injury. Because adductor sounds too much like abductor.
It's not a good look.
It's two different things.
It's the hip.
Man, just a heat
I
pack,
thought it was a
bro.
groin.
With Sean's reporting, Davis could miss up to a month.
Get in the
Heat
sauna.
pack. That's what my girl used when she got her period.
Gil, that's
Just a little heat pack, loosen up them cramps.
that's a former
Get on out, get on out there and play, baby. Just go on and get out there.
That's a
Advils.
world champion Laker there, Gil. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him some credit, but don't tell me. I know what I saw.
So could miss up to a month of action. You think the Mavs are already regretting the Luka AD trade?
Yo, don't slander. Why are you slandering already, man? We ain't even.
I mean,
One game,
Nico
already expected to be out for a month.
I mean, look, the threats and all that shit
He
right
needs
now.
to
We
go to
don't need
protect his
that.
custody.
Huh?
He needs Secret Service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all not about to
More
slander the
than that.
Mavs, man.
What you mean?
They
over.
did that. They slandered
It's over.
themselves.
The Mavs.
It's over.
Not gonna slander
They
the Mavs.
slandered
A month?
themselves.
A month?
Should have
That's
kept
the
it.
season's over with.
Yeah, it's over.
They
They're
make the
not
playoffs.
winning nothing. They're not going to no
Let's
finals.
play
now.
things.
Look, first of all, we didn't ask for this. We didn't ask to have them, okay? We wanted to dump what we got.
did ask.
Y'all gave
Y'all
us.
did ask.
Y'all gave us what y'all had.
Y'all did ask.
Y'all gave us what y'all had.
Y'all did ask.
We wanted to
Y'all
get
did ask for
rid.
AD.
We wanted to get rid of what we had, and we was willing to take whatever the hell we could get for it. This is what we got.
Right.
You asked
We have
for
to
it.
deal with it right now.
Yeah, I know they regret that trade. Maybe for the long term it could work out, but how much long term do you have left with AD? He gets hurt every other month, so to give up Luka, that, you know, was injury prone at times, but I'm taking my chances with Luka over AD. So I know Nico Harrison's going through a lot with the fan base. Hopefully nobody does anything stupid, but he's going to have to beef up that security, Secret Service security.
Now
We want AD. We want a big man.
That's all we got. That's all we could do.
Okay.
A lot
Right.
of Mavs fans obviously think they should have asked for more.
Yes.
Some more
Yes,
first-round
they
picks,
should've.
some more
Yeah,
assets,
for
more
sure.
capital.
For
We
that.
didn't.
We got AD, Max Christie.
It's
and
a wrap.
AD gonna be
pick.
fine.
It's a wrap. They're not going to the
Just
finals.
like Luka gonna be fine, AD gonna be fine.
They're gonna be in the play-in.
Maybe.
They gonna be in the play-in.
And the reason you ask for more picks is because the Mavs, they may not make the playoffs. They may finish one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. So by having those extra draft picks, it was going to help you, you know, get higher draft position. So they dropped the ball. They rushed the process, tried to trade all-star for superstar player, and it backfired on them. Terrible look.
But
month?
talk about that
And
next.
they don't want to play against Phoenix with no AD. You want to
Nah,
play
we
against
gonna get
Minnesota
trashed.
with
He'll
no
be
AD.
back. He'll be back. He'll be back. Yeah.
He got
he'll
an
be
extra
back.
week, so he's going to miss somewhere in the
Back
range if it's a
doing
full
what?
month, like 10 to 13 games. Mavs currently 8th in the West, only 2 games out of the 6th spot. But like I mentioned,
Maybe
AD
get
could be
12th when he come back.
sidelined for 10 to 12 to 13 games.
And 2 games out of the 11th spot.
They're 2 games out of 11.
I'm positive on this show.
Did they
We
win
look-
that game?
Huh?
They won that game.
They did beat the Rockets.
I mean, they can still win games.
Yeah, because I don't believe in the Rockets.
What
I don't think
games they gonna win?
they're going to be in the play-in too.
Really?
But just you talk about Mavs being in the play-in. If they can get a healthy AD back for the, at least make a push
That's what I'm
late
saying.
March into April. Now, if you're the Thunder, we talk about the same thing on the East side with the Sixers and kind of what they're doing. Do you want to see a Mavs squad
Yes.
Yeah.
in the 8-1 matchup?
Yep.
You'd be
Hell yeah.
as OKC Thunder.
No.
Yep.
Hell yeah, because they don't.
No.
Hell yeah, because they don't have no chemistry.
No.
1000%.
Every team that's going to be lined up between those spots all play the same. They all play small.
Yeah.
They all play at a certain type of system.
There's no chemistry.
All of them have no chemistry.
Who?
So all the teams that we're talking about going to be pent up against each other. It's a toss-up.
OKC don't have no chemistry?
Except for them. It's a toss-up. And I'm saying for them, they style of play ain't no different than everybody else's.
I think a lot of teams who want to see the Dallas Mavericks, again, you got an AD that's compromised that might go into the playoffs hurt. Then you got a Kyrie Irving, he can get an injury or two. And then Klay Thompson, he can easily go cold and revert back to the norm and just be a bench player. So I think a lot of teams in the Western Conference would love to match up with the Mavs in the playoffs.
So it's still a toss-up. Because SGA have a bad game, they dead meat.
With Chet coming?
I think they will.
They dead meat.
Chet coming.
He's giving you 30 a game. If he ended up giving you 21 game, you're looking around like, who the f*** else supposed to give us 30?
I mean, who's gonna get 30 with the Mavs?
Kyrie.
No,
He's not.
He can.
He can, but he's not.
But he can. That's
And
the
but
point.
no,
The point of the toss-up. No.
Anybody can average 30.
No, this is
So
what I'm saying.
So what's the difference
I'm
between
talking
his,
about-
but what's the difference between his
back
30 and
against
SGA
OKC?
30?
This is the
That's a good
toss-up.
matchup.
The toss-up, what I'm talking about is when you go out there, any given matchup, you're not going to say, I'm going to average 30 in a playoff series like this. Any given game, you can have an off game.
Right, for sure.
So that's what I'm saying. This particular section of the playoffs where all these teams play the same, it's a toss-up.
No.
Houston,
Man,
Dallas, all these teams, they got the same type of style of play. So if you play good one game, you shoot bad one game, you could be out of there.
No, so
For
SGA
sure
not
beat Houston.
okay. So SGA not getting 30. They still have a good chance of winning. If
good
Kyrie don't
squad.
average 30,
Kyrie's
30,
not going to average 30.
not gonna
or
average
get 30, they might not even have a chance to.
They still got Clay, they still got PJ, they still got guys that can play.
They match
And
That Mavs team, they have a solid, good overall team, but they need a healthy AD if they want to make some moves in the playoffs. You're not going to win it with a unhealthy AD that's injury prone, that has some nagging injuries, with the Kyrie that's up and down in the playoffs, depending on the matchups. If he's going against bigger guards, small forwards, especially being played on defense, he's going to get exploited out there. And then again, with Klay Thompson, there's no telling if he's going to go 5 of 10 from the three or 1 of 16 from the three. So they need a healthy AD. That's very important for them if they want to make some type of noise in the playoffs. So hopefully he's good. Whatever injury he has, hopefully it heals up. I thought it was a groin, so I don't know what's going on with AD. He'll hold one body part, all of a sudden he's injured somewhere else. Terrible look again. Nico Harrison, I don't know, bro. You messed up big time.
OKC don't have guys that can play.
Not to that level.
Wow.
Jalen Williams is your second best player.
Chet coming back though.
Yeah.
They
Chet
still
coming
too
back.
young.
And
They
the other
too
one,
young.
Chet
what's his
came
name?
back.
Einstein.
But they number one in the West, so they playing. They
There's
number.
there's Chet hologram
She
and
talking about
Einstein.
it,
One
huh?
thing about Dallas is that what they haven't put into consideration, when Kyrie is the number one option, he goes into another role. The role is he becomes a facilitator. He's non-aggressive. He's trying to get everybody involved. He's like a traditional point guard. Like if you look at the first half, what he took 3, 4, 5 shots, right? Because he's trying to get everybody involved. Now, if you're making your number 2 option, AD, the number 1 option, you have a problem. Because we know he's going to disappear in the fourth quarter. And if Kyrie hasn't got his going to take over in the fourth, that's what ends up happening.
But
See,
Kyrie
when
can take
Kyrie's
over in
the
the
second
fourth.
option,
Yeah, I was about to
he
say
gets
that.
to be on kill mode the whole time.
Okay.
But in the fourth with Luka, what happened? That whole playoff series, we was saying Kyrie not gonna be the one to show up between 1 and 3. He's gonna show up for the fourth.
Yeah.
Because Luka does what?
1, 2, 3.
So what you're saying is if we put AD as the number 1 option for the first 3 quarters, who's closing the game?
It's not.
That's not.
It is the
It's not the
same.
same,
How
though.
is it different?
Because you got a
Okay,
number.
so
You
you don't
have
have to play
a real number 1 who's gonna be number 1 in the fourth.
Yeah.
So he's battling with you.
No,
okay,
because
you
we
don't
just
wanna
said.
play-
If Kyrie can become that number 2 option, he can just play and ball out. He's a scorer. But if he has to be a facilitator, not having rhythm early on in the game, that's going to be troubling for the Mavs. So it's important for them to hopefully gain some chemistry, kind of know where everybody's going to do. But without an AD there, these next 10 to 15 games, it's going to shake up the chemistry. They're not able to build. So again, Kyrie has to be that number 2 option so he can just focus on the scoring instead of facilitating the ball. That's going to be key for the Mavs if they want to make some noise in the playoffs and hopefully make the playoffs.
Outlined
Yeah,
Luka.
yeah.
I just
don't wanna play
outlined
that
Luka
with AD.
and Kyrie did the same same thing that they're going to do now.
Oh, they went back.
Luka and Kyrie is better than Luka.
They went back
Kyrie.
and forth. How many game winners did Luka have in the playoffs?
We're not talking about game winners.
You gotta say game
No,
winner.
we're not.
Because you're telling somebody who's taking these big shots during the moment.
But that last shot is not all the big shots.
Kyrie
Fourth quarter is a whole thing. So I
Kyrie-
can have 10 points in the
Kyrie
fourth
can't make
and
that
not
big
hit
shot.
the game winner.
Okay,
Luka
10
can still
minutes.
hit. He can still hit the game
10
winner.
minutes. So you got one has 10 points, one has 8.
Two.
Who?
Luka has 2 and he hit the game winner. I got the other 10.
Yeah.
You're making that up. That's not a real thing.
What do you mean? That's Kyrie taking over the
Yeah.
fourth.
Can you go and show
Kyrie
us what Luka's fourth quarter points were? Oh my God.
I'm not giving exact points, bro.
You need to.
No,
because
I don't.
We know one is not going to score in the fourth. AD is not scoring in the fourth quarter. His history shows.
So he has 0 points.
His history shows.
Zero.
No,
His
not
history
zero.
shows the average.
He don't got 0 points, but he's less aggressive. He's had LeBron James to fall back on, but now that he's in Dallas, he has to be that number one option. That's going to make everybody else's job easier. Everybody knows their roles when you have your number one option, your number two option, your number three, and then pretty much it's a free-for-all for everybody else. So without a healthy AD, with Kyrie all over the place between being a facilitator and a scorer, that's going to hurt Klay Thompson getting wide open shots and him having some dominant games. So it's going to come down to health if the Mavs want to be something this season.
So he's telling me I can't be precise, and then he's not being
can't just
precise.
say that.
What are you talking about? He said you got to be a number.
Okay.
AD actually scores points in the fourth. He scores points. You saying 0.
Against Denver.
What is Anthony Davis' fourth quarter scoring?
You want Anthony or Luka first?
Look, Anthony Davis.
Okay, hold on.
Jesus Christ. Haven't we went through this already?
This season or in the playoffs? So AD.
I mean, whatever makes his argument seem a little bit better.
Yeah, we did.
Playoffs, regular,
Yeah, we can do the last
whatever.
3 years.
Last 3 years
known
with
for scoring
2 points. I mean, we've went through this.
But he was with Brian, though.
Bro, we literally had this conversation about who handles the fourth quarter points between a lot of different teams and a lot of different players. Murray, Kyrie, all this.
Yeah.
We agreed that Kyrie is the fourth quarter guy for Luka.
Yeah,
So we agreed that.
So this season, AD's averaging 5 points and 2.5 rebounds
Okay.
in the fourth quarter.
Now, what does Luka average?
So this season, Luka's at 6-2, but in the playoffs last season, hold on 1 second, he averaged 6 points.
Okay, and what does Kyrie average?
Kyrie in the fourth quarter.
NBA.com.
This season, 7.4 points.
This season, last year. This season, Luka's been hurt. dog.
Where's the camera?
He's been hurt,
Where's
man.
the fucking camera?
Right there.
Now it's hurt.
He's been
Now it's
hurt.
something else. Now
So
it's something
Kyrie
else.
fourth quarter in the playoffs, he averaged 7 points last season, 2024.
So that's 13 points between those two.
No, bro, don't do that. Don't change.
That's
you just heard
13
all the
points. What did I say? I said they go back and forth.
Look, forget all that Luka stuff with the Mavs. It's all about AD, Kyrie, and Klay Thompson. Is Anthony Davis going to be able to score in the fourth quarter? Is he going to be aggressive? That's what we didn't see last season in the playoffs when they faced the Nuggets. He'll have a solid 3 quarters. All of a sudden, he may not score. He may score 2 or 3 points. He's just less aggressive, but now he's relied upon, so he has a different role. So he's going to have to get healthy quick only because they're going to need Anthony Davis to make the playoffs. And again, to win a couple games in the playoffs, you're not going to have a hobbling AD that's on one leg or can barely move and expect to make any noise in the playoffs. So health is wealth when it comes to this Mavs team, and it all starts with AD. I don't want to hear about last season with Luka, last season with Kyrie scoring. We need to worry about this season and everybody knowing their role so they can execute.
I don't want to say someone's weak-minded, right? But if your only reason
Home soft.
to want to be the 4-man is to go against everybody that's 6'6" and 6'7" because they're playing so small and everyone's guards, that is weak.
Some weakness there.
What's weak?
You want to play power forward because today's power forward is Thompson, who's a guard. He's a guard. You want to go against all the guards in the post.
Take advantage, right?
They take advantage of guards.
But that's what
So if that's the only reason you keep complaining about being a 4-man is because everybody's little and you get the advantage, That says a lot.
But that's when
That's the thing with AD. I know he doesn't want to play the center position. It didn't work out too well in LA, but he still, put up some good numbers. And if you look at his stats, he's better at the 5 than the 4. So it could be some, signs of weakness there. He doesn't feel comfortable going against the Jokic, the Embiids, the couple other big centers in the NBA. So playing that 4 position, he's going to go against, a Jimmy Butler one night, a LeBron James, a Hayward Highsmith, a Klay Thompson type, like those 6'8", 6'9" dudes that are skinny in the frame, weak. AD wants to take advantage of those type of power forwards. So I can see where Gilbert Arenas is going with this, just as far as, his willingness to be the power forward and, not having that heart.
when he was the 4-man, though.
But don't you want the advantage, though?
Don't you want the advantage?
Like, if AD's at the 4 and they got a true 5, I mean, that means I'm playing the advantage. Why? First of all, that's not even a true 4 position. So I'm going to take advantage, right?
I'm a 4-man.
But what I'm saying is,
In any era, I'm a 4-man.
you're screaming you want to be the 4 because you're playing against 6'6", 6'7" guys.
Sounds familiar to me.
And what are
Here's your.
and what is the average for a guy in the NBA?
They changed it.
They changed it. I mean, right, but it was 6'10". So
It was. He's a natural 4.
that's what I'm saying. So
weird.
right now, I'm gonna take advantage.
It's so weird because it's like two guys that I know are like big enough to play 4. They went from 3 to 4, and they're D and LeBron James.
Okay.
They moved to a better advantage.
Yeah.
Exactly what he's talking about. These two great players no longer play a position where they will be outclassed and outcompeted against when you talk about younger, more athletic players. Let's move down to the 4 position where we have to do less. And LeBron, he can do more because they think he's going to do less. He's the 4-man for the Lakers.
Yeah, in conclusion, get better soon, AD. The Mavs are going to need you. Nico Harrison, this whole trade is just all over the place, blowing up in his face. You need a healthy AD if the Mavs want to make any noise in the playoffs. And AD playing a 4, we're going to see how, good that plays out. You got Gafford, you got Lively. As long as those players are healthy, AD, he'll remain at the 4. But there may be situations to where he has to play the 5. All depends on the matchups. But we'll see what happens moving forward with AD and the Mavs.